Maganda gabi lahat. Good evening all. I'm Motzie, the creator of the High Night Podcast, and I'm here with my lovely friend and co-host, Edward McKee.
Hello, how's it going, everybody?
Hi, Edward. Merry
Hello,
Christmas.
Motzie.
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yay, happy holiday.
Happy holidays. Yeah, for everybody who doesn't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays. We hope your winter celebrations have been nice.
Yeah. And not freezing cold, even though that's probably the reality for a lot of people.
Not for me. I had Philippines level weather.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm the Filipino. What are you doing in the Philippines? No, just temperature. Yeah.
It was in where I live. It was 70 degrees on Christmas. 72 the day before.
Yay.
In Celsius, I believe that's like 21, 22 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. That's like...
It was way too hot for
That's
December.
A very cold Filipino day, which is a very hot anywhere else day. Or at least anywhere else here. Yeah, I'm feeling very festive with this B-Sides, where there are exactly no questions about the holidays, and also none of the episodes are themed after the holidays. Because we did, 5 Christmas episodes, so this year we were just no Christmas episodes.
Yeah, we made up for this year's lack of Christmas with last year's Super Christmas.
Exactly, the Super Christmas. Yeah. So yeah, today we were actually talking about 4 episodes because we actually missed out on doing a B-Sides before the last one, but only because we were about to take a break and we were like, well, I want to do one more story episode before we take a break. So we decided to just push out the story episode, and it was a good one, before we did a B-Sides. So we're coming back with the B-Sides after the holidays. But yeah, so I will quickly describe every episode that we're going to be talking about today, and then we're going to go to the questions. Actually, the questions aren't too specific to the episodes, but they'll be fun to discuss, and we can also discuss the episodes themselves.
And for future B-Sides, if you are listening to this on YouTube, go ahead and, if you have any questions, just type out questions in the comments and we can answer them that way. If you're listening to this on Acast or any other podcast player, you can send us emails, or not emails, social media messages, like, hey, a question for the B-Sides. Maybe we should make a hashtag. Hashtag High Night B-Sides questions or something.
Maybe so. But yeah, since we're primarily on Tumblr, you can actually also just send us, asks. Yeah, so asks are, just you submit questions on Tumblr and we'll answer them. Like some of our questions right now, but first we will describe each episode.
Yes.
So, High Night episode 70, Lungsod, or City, Danny Boyd... Hi, Edward.
Hi. That's my boy.
Yeah, Danny Boyd notices that things are getting worse in Toronto. He shares some advice with DJ in the Dark and their listeners. So that's the first one. The second one is episode 71, Kalaban or Enemy. Evelyn Y. takes stock of which elders are most likely to attack Mary directly, now that the plot against her has been revealed. And in episode 72, Kalooban, Inner Self. Half of the description for this one is in Tagalog, so ang paglitaw ng gintong anito. And then Dooley talks about Donner's past and warns about the dangerous recklessness that might still reside in him. And the last one's episode 73, Katapatan or Fidelity. Mary makes a deal with a ghost, and Donner and Murphy break a 15-year silence. So that was a really good one to end on before the holidays.
Such a good episode to end on.
Yeah.
I'm glad we decided to wait 4 episodes for this one, because I was sitting on that. I read the script for it, and I was just like, oh, we have to get this one out.
Yeah, exactly. Never say we don't do anything for you. Nobody has ever said that, but...
Nobody has ever said that, but don't ever say it.
But yeah, before we go into every episode in detail, I will read some of the questions for the B-Sides, and then we will go into each episode in detail. Yeah. So, the first question is from the lovely T. Emo, who has also asked a question before in other B-Sides. On Tumblr, T. Emo asks, for the B-Sides, I'm curious how much of the supernatural mystery stuff takes up Mary's day-to-day. Because I think I remember one of the past episodes mentioning her, day job. And I feel like she's working more or less 2 full-time jobs now, LOL. Very true. So, one of the things about this sort of story is that we don't necessarily talk so much about the day jobs of certain characters, right? We have never talked about what Laura's day job is, and we have only mentioned Mary's in passing. the ones who get the most attention for their day jobs are Donner and Murphy because they're literally detectives, but also Ashvin because he's literally like a TV guru.
Yeah.
So that's his job.
And he's loaded for it. I love that for him.
And he is loaded, yeah. Yeah. What ended up happening is that, I think we mentioned this in another B-Sides, but Mary took a break after her breakdown with Abe. So she is on leave from her job, which is as an audio editor. She has taken both full-time jobs and freelance jobs. I have not fully decided what she was doing when, the first supernatural thing happened, but she would have needed a full-time job to get her permanent residence, so she would have had one for a few years, and then probably, does freelance or other things, or maybe she just ended her contract. We don't fully know. And the logistics of that need to match up with immigration laws. So that's, so you can probably, figure that out if you know about immigration laws in Canada. If you don't, then, yeah, that's basically, what I go with, which is she has had full-time work, she has also freelanced, and she is now currently unemployed as she is navigating the emotional turmoil of literally everything.
She's going through it.
Oh, yeah. She's going through it, but at least she doesn't have to do her job while she's going through it.
God, can you imagine if she had to work, retail or something? I can't imagine doing the horrors and also having to work customer service. I think I would just start killing customers at that point.
I mean, that's why Magnus Archives and other, are, it's an office comedy. It's an office horror. Because, yeah, you cannot, deal with that end the job.
Exactly.
The job is the horror.
Exactly.
Although I do like the idea of, a horror retail story.
Someone else do funny.
That. I'm already busy with another podcast on the way. Someone else do that.
I feel like if I had... This is going to be a slight tangent, but if I had to do a story like that, it would probably be a comedy horror, just because more of the horror comes from dealing with nasty customers. And then you just have a ghost on the side, and you're just like, I don't have time to deal with you right now, you go somewhere else, kind of thing. And I feel like that's just how Mari would be, too. If this was a retail, she'd just be like, the horrors can wait, I have a mean Karen on the phone, and she's demanding to see the manager.
Exactly. I think it would have the same energy as, do you know that TikTok series that became, that got funded, and now they're doing full episodes on YouTube? What was it? My apartment is haunted, but the rent is cheap, or something like that?
I've heard it. I think I've seen some select clips, because sometimes TikToks that break containment make their way on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Not YouTube, Tumblr.
Yes. It is so funny. It's like the redhead guy with the, with the glasses and the beard.
Yes,
and
yes.
He was able to fund the entire series, and that's kind of the energy I'm feeling. For a retail horror thing, they would just have, the thing is, though... Oh, okay. I was gonna say, why would you stay at that job? But then I realized, listen, no one would ever want to work retail. We're already too, dead inside. The added horrors are just another thing. It's not as horrific as, regular retail.
Exactly, yep.
Yeah. The most shocking thing is probably that they're paid better than other places. So that's probably what it is. Okay. Next questions. Thank you for the question, T-Emo.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thankfully she's not working 2 full-time jobs. She's just working one. The scary one.
Thankfully. That would suck.
I do actually have a short story that's almost complete, but not quite. It's 90% complete. I never finished it. I should. It'll be a bonus episode, but it's basically one of Mary's coworkers.
Yes.
And I am just trying to figure out where to slot it in, because it's not really relevant to the story as a whole. But I'll definitely be releasing it as a bonus episode, and I will definitely be putting it on the main feed at some point.
Yeah, I've read part of the script already. It's going to be an interesting bonus episode, but it doesn't fit where things are at currently, and it would kind of break the flow of where the episodes are at right now.
Exactly.
So trying to slot it in is a little bit tough, but it is a good bonus episode, so I'm excited for when it goes out.
Yeah, I'm just also deciding who's going to voice her. But
yes, that too.
Anusha really wants to voice her, so that'll be nice. We'll see. All right. So the second question is from Vulture Warrior, another Tumblr friend of the Hainai podcast. What year did Mary move to Canada? So the current events of Hainai are taking place in 2020 to 2021. So far, Christmas has happened. New Year's is, we're kind of in a weird, like, we don't know exactly what date it is, so we don't know if New Year's has passed already, but basically it's like the beginning of 2021, end of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that the year Mary moved to Canada would have had to be within the framework of getting her PR.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, the question is answered by what are the rules of immigration in Canada?
Yeah.
And I can answer that for you as an immigrant in Canada. The answer is, depending on the route Mary took, whether she got a work permit directly, or whether she did what I did, which is like become a student, then got a work permit, which is like given to you when you are a student, blah, 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 blah. All that to say, the shortest time she could have become a permanent resident would have been something along the lines of 3 years?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 if she was really rushing it, but like 3 years? So her coming to Canada would have been 3 years or more, but I never actually established quite how long she's been there before the events of Hainai. But yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at. 3-4 years, getting your permanent residence basically like requires a certain amount of skill and a certain amount of like skill points
Mm-hmm.
and a certain amount of time and etc., etc. That's the hard part. But yeah, so I would say at least 3 years ago, but I have never like set up an exact date as to when she arrived in Canada. But when I say 3 years ago, I mean 3 years from 2020, which is when Hainai is happening. Okay.
That makes sense.
Although it is funny because I realized that the first episode probably took place in 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Because the second episode happened in February.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it would have been
So
near the
February
end of the
2020.
year when Mari rescued Laura for that first time.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so next question is from Hawkfurs, a lovely friend on the Discord. Hawkfurs says, between everyone in the polyamory,
Teehee.
who would win in an arm wrestling match and who would be the absolute loser?
Oh, that is
Listen,
an excellent question.
easy answer. Absolute loser, Ashvin.
Yes.
Sorry, you go.
No, I was going to say, the absolute winner, I think, is going to be Laura.
Yes.
My axe-wielding strong queen.
Yes, she's so strong.
And the absolute loser is Ashvin. In fact, I don't even think Ashvin wants to take part in this competition because he knows he's going to lose.
Yeah.
He just can't stand other people around him saying, "Wimp!" So he is forced to be like, okay, here, and then loses, and he's like, see, I told you, and then he leaves.
Yeah, he does not want to take part in any of this.
He does not care. He does not want to be a part of it.
He's a diva. And if there's no stakes, he would simply not try.
Exactly.
But yeah, Ashvin is the absolute loser. Here's an interesting one. So I was reading Wrestling Match, and I was like, the answers would be different with a wrestling match versus an arm wrestling match.
Oh.
In an arm wrestling match, here's a fun fact. I think that Mary would neither win nor lose. I think she would be shockingly good at keeping her arm in one place and not getting pushed down, but also not having the leverage to push someone else down.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, so she'd be
Laura
the
has
stalemate
a strength,
person.
right? She has just she has arm stability, is what
Yes.
I imagine for Mary. I think that Laura would actually even struggle to, like, push her arm down, is the thing. Mary could not match Laura in strength, but I think in, like, just the solid framework of her arm, like, her arm just staying in place, I think Mary would actually make Laura put in a lot of effort.
Yes.
And
I would agree with that.
yeah, that's basically, like, my thought about it. And for Ashvin and Murphy, Murphy and Donner.
Yeah.
Murphy would be the second strongest, I feel.
Oh, really?
Although, actually, so here's my thought. Murphy would definitely put up a fight with Laura. Laura would win, but Murphy would have quite, like, he can be a gym bro at times. So Murphy would have that strength. I think he and Donner would be just about evenly matched, but Murphy would win out just a tad. Like, I think Laura beats them all handily, but I think that Murphy would just about eke out Donner. But Donner would be quite strong as well.
Yeah.
So that's, like, in terms of, like, levels, it would be Laura, and then Murphy, and then Donner, and then Mary, although with Donner and, like, Mary it would take a while to beat her. You know, she has endurance, but not so much strength. And, of course, Ashvin on the bottom because he doesn't want to try.
Yes. He doesn't even want to try. Like, I'm sure he could put up a fight if he really wanted to.
Yes.
But because he doesn't want to take part in it, he just wimps out immediately.
Yeah, you would not want to try it, but also if he had to, like if there were actual stakes, that would be a different story. If there were actual stakes, everyone would just be like pulling all of their adrenaline and all of their power into winning.
Yeah, that would be a completely different story, 100%.
Yes.
He'd be like, okay, there are actual stakes, I'm gonna give it my all. But when there aren't any stakes, why do I want to be a part of this? Exactly. This sucks, this isn't fun.
Exactly.
He's not a gym bro.
Yeah, Ashvin is definitely like, no thank you. Bye. And then, last question, lovely question from our wonderful listener our friend Alex, who makes the best questions and best theories for Hainai.
We appreciate you, Alex.
Yes, exactly. Do any of the main characters, excluding Donna and Mary, as we have heard about them, and perhaps including DJ and Danny, enjoy any fictional horror media? If so, has their relationship with these changed after their real supernatural encounters?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because obviously we already know about Donner. Donner loved supernatural stuff when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, his relationship with it has changed, but that was, like, his passion when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Mary, not so much. I think, like, Mary just isn't that aware of, like, horror media in general. She just lives a lot of it.
Yeah, like, why would you seek that out when it's 100% of your life, right?
Exactly. Murphy, I don't think so. I think Murphy has never shown interest, but because he knows Donner likes it, I think he would definitely know a lot by virtue of, like, osmosis.
Yeah.
You know, when your crush likes something and you kind of just want to learn all about it, even though you don't like it yourself.
Yeah.
That's how Murphy would be.
And that tracks.
Yeah. Laura, I feel like Laura would like something horror, but I'm trying to think of what. Maybe she really, really likes, like, those horror fairs. I believe there's, like, a Fright Fest or something like that.
Yeah, like, she likes haunted houses, maybe?
Yeah.
Like the walk-through haunted house things where it's very clearly costume, nothing is real. It's all just actors.
Yes.
Horror movies and horror games, I feel like, would be a little too close to something real for her. Just because your brain does that suspension of disbelief thing, and with movies, they try to make it feel real, especially to the actors who are in it. Because in the fiction of that movie, it is real. But with a haunted house, it's just like, oh, you're clearly wearing a rubber mask, and that's fun.
Oh, yeah. I think that Laura definitely enjoyed Halloween, like, festivities, but I don't think she's particularly interested in horror year-round, if that makes sense. She definitely gets into Halloween.
It's a Halloween-specific thing.
Yeah, she loves Halloween, but she doesn't really get into horror all year round. Ashvin, I don't think so. Maybe there's some niche, like, cultural horror that he enjoys, like, from his childhood. But I would have to ask, like, Adil if he has any, like, thoughts on, like, Bollywood, Tollywood horror, because that's kind of, like, what we've talked about before, like, Bollywood stories and Tollywood and just all that, so...
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Ashvin would probably like very niche stuff that he grew up with, but not so much, like, mainstream Western stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Danny... I feel like, I might be projecting a little bit here, but I feel like as a kid, Danny was scared of anything that closely resembled to spooky. He liked Halloween because of the candy, but he did, as like a baby, I don't think he liked anything scary whatsoever, and if somebody walked around with a scary mask on, he'd start crying. So his parents couldn't do, like, really scary Halloween. One time he saw a scary advertisement on the TV and had nightmares about it. When I was, I want to say, like, 12, I saw the Da Vinci Code movie, and I had nightmares all night long of people with guns stalking the house. So that tells you my level of horror as a kid. And then I think as he got older, he started to realize, like, hey, there's some level of interest and catharsis in this. And then, for me, I learned that horror, especially during the Hays Code era, became an outlet for people wanting to express their queer identities through a lens that couldn't be censored in the same way that it would be if it was like a romance movie or whatever. So learning about the queer history of horror, I think, would help him find ways to identify with it more. So I think nowadays he is probably super into Halloween and likes, horror movies and haunted houses and horror video games, but his tolerance is probably limited to levels of, like, if it's too realistic, it's too much.
Oh, yeah.
But also, I think after experiencing everything that he went through with his ex-boyfriend and the foci, I think his interest in horror would diminish pretty significantly, because it's like, well, now that it's real, it's not fun anymore, because real people are in danger, and now I have too much sympathy for the people in those fictional scenarios.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I think he'd only be able to enjoy certain types of media, like, I don't know, maybe like Silent Hill, where the idea of the horror is these people did it to themselves.
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
I also think,
yeah.
Oh, sorry, finish your thought.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say, like, I still think he'd, like, enjoy the LGBT aspect of it, so it'd be more like a community event sort of thing. He'd take part in those community Halloween parties.
Oh, yeah.
But
so,
what were you gonna say?
Fun fact in Toronto, and I think Danny would definitely do this, every Halloween they close off Church Street, which is where most of, like, Pride happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, for Halloween, that same area, which is, like, the village is what they call it, the queerest part of Toronto, they close it off for Halloween so that people can just go out and walk around and just see each other's costumes. It's really cool.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it's just a public
totally
space, you can go there.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely goes there every single year. He definitely goes to, like, Halloween raves. He's, like, he's definitely activated for Halloween, even if his enjoyment of horror has been diminished.
Yes.
He's still very much like a Halloween boy.
Halloween boy, the community, it's the fun, it's the candy, the parties, the costumes.
Yeah.
That's the part that I think he would continue to enjoy after everything. And I feel like he'd drag Cornelius along with him.
Okay, we need to think about that another time. We need to talk about
we'll
that
have to talk about that another time, but I think he definitely would bring Cornelius with him to those events.
Yippee! Absolutely. Also, for DJ, because DJ was also included in the question,
yes,
I do think DJ was a big fan, and for some reason, just my vibes alone, of slashers. I think DJ was a slasher fan.
Like, oh, I love that.
That type of, like, horror enjoyer. And I do think, obviously, same as Danny, slightly diminished after they were affected by, the horrors.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think similarly, they enjoy the style of it all, the artistry of it all. I'm sure they have a love for Peter Jackson, and his, like, history as a horror guy before he became the Lord of the Rings guy. Like, splattery stuff, like, outrageous stuff, Cronenbergian stuff, and also, like, body horror and slasher horror, I think, is, like, DJ's thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of their, like, job involves, like, supernatural horror. So, but they never talk about, like, because they don't consider it, like, the same genre. They don't want to be talking about true crime all the time, They don't want to be talking about true crime. So exactly. I think their enjoyment is in the fictional slashers, and their job is in the spooky stories, the supernatural stories.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. I think they wear Terrifier shirts to work.
Yeah.
And during, like, their stint as, like, a known DJ.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all the questions. We can actually go into the episodes now, and there are 4 of them.
Oh, so good.
So good. Okay, so first we'll start with episode 70, Lungsod, or City, where Danny Boyd notices that things are getting worse in Toronto, and he shares some advice with DJ in the Dark and their listeners. Yeah, you remember this one for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah, this was super fun to write, because I had this image of sort of people in general noticing that, like, there was something off, and you do get a little bit of that when that one person was, like, saved from Mr. Smiley Slimy, stuff like that. But from Danny's perspective, I thought it would be interesting, because Danny's a little aware of everything, but not fully aware.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I just had a lot of fun images in my mind of Danny, like, encountering things. And I feel like a lot of really fun imagery came from that episode, like that one guy jumping and then just never coming down, and that, like, leaning thing with, like, with the skin that, like, starts sloughing away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That visual was so interesting, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard for me to convey with Danny's voice that particular scene, because he was supposed to be, like, scared of it and grossed out by it, but I was so viscerally interested in that design that I kept being like, ooh, this is so cool, and I had to be like, no, this is supposed to be scary. Oh, this is so gross. Like, it was hard for me to get past my interest in that creature design to, like, get in Danny's shoes and be like, no, this is supposed to be something scary.
Yeah. You were like, character design.
Ooh, character design. Let's go. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Danny even admits, like, he stopped listening to the show after he told his story.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, like, his own experience has put him off a lot of, like, horror stuff in general.
Yep, it absolutely has. And, again, that's kind of like, you know, a lot of people who I hear stories of, like, psychic mediums, for example, many of them are like, I can't do horror movies, I can't do anything like that because that's been such a part of my everyday life that I don't want to engage with it in a fictional sense. So I think Danny is in that same boat where he experienced something so horrific that the only way he can engage with horror is, you know, like, aside from going out and rescuing people from active foci, is just, like, on Halloween when he's going to community parties. I don't think he can do horror anymore simply because the experience was too traumatic.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely, like, it's understandable, too. I do think it's funny to think about what the next Halloween will look like, you know, for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. And for Mari, too, because her last Halloween, Abe died.
Yeah! So. Oh, that's tough. Although it will be a fun thing to think about. Like, it'll be a fun story prompt to be like, what does Halloween look like now for Mary? And I think she's going to try to stay home, but I think part of the comfort will be, like, engaging with it in some capacity, you know? Like, not to get ahead of everything, but I like to imagine Mary, like, giving out candies and then seeing all the happy kids and being like, maybe it's not, like, maybe I don't have to think about the horrors all the time.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I also, like, we get a lot of, like, what Danny knows about this whole thing, so that's super fun. And Danny directly communicating with DJ, even though DJ doesn't talk in this episode.
Yes.
Yeah. And Danny having the same feelings that a lot of the characters have, which is that they want to do more, but they can't.
Yeah, they don't have enough information to do more, so they're doing the best they can with what they have.
Yeah. Although Danny is putting himself out there, which, you know, one may argue may cause some trouble in the long run. Maybe not, maybe
Only
so.
maybe.
Who listens to DJ's episodes anyway, except most of the cast now?
Yeah, now that DJ is on everybody's radar, people are probably going to be like, hey, Danny, you probably shouldn't be doing this.
But to be fair, Danny's, like, offering help.
Exactly.
So it's like, well, I guess he should be doing this because he did save that one lady, so.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so the next one that we're going to talk about is actually episode 71, Kalaban or Enemy. Evelyn Y takes stock of which elders are most likely to attack Mary directly now that the plot against her has been revealed. So this was just me being like, I was originally going to write, the first book of Haina was actually going to be the Book of Elders. I was actually just going to write the entire Book of Elders and make that a book, but then I got busy with writing the actual show, so I never got around to it. But I still want to. Like, the Book of Elders episode, I think, clocked our longest episode?
Yeah,
maybe?
I think so.
I think so. I literally was just writing an entire Book of Elders, but, like, had to skip over a few things. But I believe, like, a long, long time ago, the Book of Elders was, like, over an hour, or at least, like, an hour, give or take.
I think so. That sounds right.
So basically the longest, like, story episode. And I was like, let me go back to it and tell you about a couple of elders that I haven't fully talked about. And actually, we can go over them right now because they're fun, and some of them might be relevant later. Maybe all of them.
Maybe. Maybe. Who knows?
Let me go over them real quick. We talk about Thompson, obviously. Like, of course, we love talking about hating Thompson.
Yeah.
Clarence Thompson. We love talking about Thompson. We hate him. But
we love to talk about him. We hate him as a person. He is a fascinating character in a villain fictional archetype way.
Yes.
But if he was a real person,
kill him.
Yeah.
Kill him. You gotta kill him.
I mean, we did kill him, to be fair.
We did kill him, exactly. And then, another one's really fun is Martin Knowles. So Martin Knowles was the apprentice of another elder named Richard Weineman, who unearthed a couple of artifacts that sucked him in and spat out the gristle, which was a fun line to write.
That's a fun line.
Yeah, and it took the skin and muscle off Martin's hand when his master tried to grab him. Grabbed him. He's called Young Martin. There's not much known about him, But, if there's not much known about him in the Book of Elders, perhaps we will find out more about him later. Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't. I do.
We do know, but we're not saying
coy.
quite yet.
I'm being coy. And I don't know why, because I generally don't think about the Elders' appearances, right? Like, I don't, like, half of them I do, half of them I don't. I don't think I actively did not imagine any appearance for Richard Henry for a very long time, even though I'd had him in mind for years. But young Martin just struck me as a guy with hazel eyes and hair. That's, like, for some reason that just got to me, so I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. We got that. And then we have Vincent LaBelle. We love Vincent LaBelle.
Oh,
he has no eyes. He's a funny little guy. He has no eyes. How'd that happen?
I wonder.
I love the line, eye color, irrelevant now.
That's such a good line.
Yeah. And, yeah, we go over how Henry Wallace, like, did him in, and then he never found him again, which is great.
Yep.
It's like, Henry Wallace got to live a happy life with his wife.
And he was angry about it the whole time.
Yeah, he's still, like, steaming about it. He's still, like, so mad. I like the idea that one day he will just find out about this guy who died, like, years ago, and he's like, it's him!
God damn it!
It's that motherfucker! I don't know if that'll ever happen, but it would be so
funny if he found out, because then he'd be like, not only did he live a full and happy life with a wife and a family, and he had a great career and he was successful, I didn't get my revenge before he died of natural causes. Fuck this guy.
Yeah. And also and the only way this could happen is if somebody read the comic to him, where he is the villain. Somebody's like, hey, have you seen this comic? I mean, not seen. Have you heard about this comic? And describes it to him, and he's like, wait a fucking minute. Wait a minute.
That would be so funny.
So funny.
Oh my god. Wait, I have an idea. We'll talk about this later. But I'm making a note to talk about this idea that I have, because I think that would be a really funny aside.
Make notes. And for those who want to hear about our ideas, I promise that it'll become a story sooner or later, or something. We'll do something with it.
Eventually.
We always do something with it. But yeah, okay, and then we get to Manfred.
Oh,
my favorite.
Manfred.
My Blorbo, my beloved Manfred. It is still hilarious that I was like, let's do episode 69, but it won't be about any of the characters that you like. It'll be about the character that I like. It'll be my favorite character.
This is my favorite
sad
character.
Old man.
The sad old man.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who enjoys Disco Elysium is probably going to enjoy Manfred. They're very, very similar characters.
Well, not quite.
I shouldn't
similar,
say quite.
In looks, but certainly, like,
in terms of personality and the depression aspect of it.
In terms of depression, not so much personality. I mean, the personality, like, varies. Right?
Not the personality, but Manfred definitely has the same kicked puppy, wet paper bag personality, like, appearance as Harry Dubois from Disco Elysium.
Exactly.
They are both very sad old men.
Oh, yeah, and his description in the actual Book of Elders is so sad, because you think about how he is now. But, like, his description is plump, cheerful, and with a recognizable beard and mustache one would describe as friendly mutton chops. A social man, open-minded and kind, and now he's just like...
He's just sad. What happened to you, Manfred?
Yeah.
You poor guy.
But I do love, not a bloodthirsty bone in his body. This was the man that killed Clarence Thompson barehanded with a lamp. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, like, she also, like, goes on to describe, like, the man Mary met wasn't well. He looked like he hadn't slept in days, his eyes sunken, his skin pallid. He looked paranoid, his hair disheveled. He had these markings carved into his hands, marks that never healed. And then we briefly talk about Salai, but we don't actually know that much about him, at least in terms of the Book of Elders.
Yep.
We're learning a lot about him now, but, you know, interestingly. And then, yeah, we recap Minerva, the cannibal. We actually explain how her powers work and what her relationship with the benefactor is, which is super fun. I feel like a big question a lot of people had was, why is the benefactor, if he is true, if he is honest about his claims that he's trying to save people, why is he friends with the cannibal?
Exactly.
Right? Like, why is he literally friends with the cannibal? But we kind of go on to explain that, like, Minerva hunts specifically people who have killed already. She's like a Hannibal Lecter type if Hannibal Lecter only killed other killers. Or Dexter, I guess. I don't know. Like, I guess Dexter is the show. I never watched Dexter, so I can't actually make that comparison.
I never watched Dexter.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. And, you know, despite all that, her personality, she's very humble. She's a very humble person for somebody who cannibalizes others. She's like, yeah, I like that I have an opportunity to pursue my passions. I appreciate the people who let me do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, that's really humble of you, ma'am.
Exactly.
And then we have Claudia Cyproites, the vampire, Claudia the vampire. We vaguely mentioned her a long time ago.
Claudia.
We talk about how she drinks blood because somebody thought she was a vampire and then buried her alive. And then she dug her way out and then hunted him down and drank his blood.
Oh, you're gonna make me a vampire? Okay, I will become a vampire just for you, specifically.
Exactly. And yeah, it was such a fun coincidence. I was looking up, like, slang from the 1920s, and I found out that vamp is slang for a flirty person. And I was thinking, she was like, oh, she's a flirty person. Then I look up, what's a word for a flirty person? And I see vamp, and I'm like, oh, it was meant to be. It was meant to be. She's a vamp. Also, did I ever mention to you that her name is kind of like an in-joke?
Is it?
Yeah. Cyproites was a Greek mythological figure of one of the quite a few trans-Greek mythological figures.
Huh.
So, without ever saying it outright, I basically wrote in that Claudia is actually trans.
I forgot about that, actually.
Did I tell you about this?
I think you did, and I forgot.
Yeah.
But I love that a lot.
Yeah.
I really love that.
Yeah, imagine the trans vampire lady who's just like, okay. I'm like, alright, I'm gonna drink your blood. You said I was a vampire, so I'm gonna drink your blood. Yeah, it's never outright stated. I think it's just a very, very niche. But, I mean, people who listen to this will now find out. But, like, it was a very niche little clue for me, specifically, because I was like, I like her.
I do, too.
Mm-hmm.
She's great.
Yeah. And, okay, so, the last one is Patience Glass. Patience Glass is so funny. She's literally the elder who's kind of just like, let me just do nothing to make trouble. I have immortality.
God, she's so funny.
I have the ability to make myself rich. I'm fine. And then she just fucks off. She's like, the smartest elder. Let's just call her that. She's the smartest elder of all of them.
She is the smartest elder. She stayed in her lane. She did her own thing.
Yeah.
She's not doing anything whatsoever. Least problematic elder.
Literally.
She still profits off of all of the death and shit that the elders do. But in terms of, like, her involvement level, she is staying in her own lane. She's hydrating. She's unbothered, you know?
There's always that kind of character. I mean, like, the thing is about the elders is that the type of person that they attract, you know, the type of thing that they attract is, you know, the kind of person who would get involved and, like, do shit.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, whether they feel philanthropic about it or whether they feel, like, you know, power hungry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Patience Glass is one of those characters who understands that her abilities and her power and her access to that is, like, something that's deeply dangerous, and she's just like, I'm gonna go over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go over there. If something bad happens, I'm not gonna be the one to cause my own downfall.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. So if she does have a downfall, it's not gonna be her fault. So, who knows? We'll see in the future.
Exactly. We will see.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we just kind of go over everyone. The last one is Vernon Greenwood. We actually hear from Vernon in the meeting episode where Mary comes in, where Vernon's like, why are you not dealing with this shit? You know, like, he's asking Richard Henry, like, why is the benefactor not dealing with this? Like, what's going on? And I found it really fun, because at first, when I first imagined Vernon, I imagined him as just kind of an asshole, you know? I imagined him as, like, a very entitled person. But then the more I sat down to, like, describe him, the more I realized, like, it would be more interesting if Vernon, having this loyalty, was based on, like, his respect for the benefactor, and losing that respect when he realized that the benefactor is not dealing with the problem at hand. And to be fair, like, that's multiple problems popping up at the same time. It was Langford coming back, it was this natural user, it was, like, all these things happening, and Vernon's like, okay, why are you not dealing with this? You usually deal with this.
Yeah, exactly.
And Vernon noticing that the benefactor's off. And so his loyalty is waning because he's like, listen, I was loyal to you not blindly. I was loyal to you because you did something that was worthy of my loyalty.
Exactly.
And now you are failing to do that. So I'm gonna do something about it. So Vernon's fun. Vernon's an interesting character, and certainly...
He's a very interesting character.
Yeah. And I think you can tell we're gonna do something with him in the future.
Oh, yeah.
But what will it be?
But
who knows?
You know, we don't know.
Mm.
What are we doing? I don't know. You'll have to find out. Tune into the High Night Podcast to find out more.
Yeah, listen to the show called the High Night Podcast. You'll really like it, I think.
It's a really good show. I think you'll enjoy it.
Okay, well, we went over quite a bit for that one, but it was fun because, like, there's so much information in that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so moving on to 72. 72 is Kalooban Inner Self. So this one was fun because half of it's in Tagalog.
Yeah, that was a fun script for me to read because I was like, hey, Motzie, can you give me a translation? I don't trust Google Translate.
The thing about this one is that I am going to release the transcript soon. We're actually already actively working on it. And once the transcript comes out, people will be able to translate that information.
Mm-hmm.
When I do these Tagalog episodes, the general idea is that people don't need to know the information now, but when the transcripts are released is about the time that they can get that information.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, people who speak Tagalog will be able to get the information immediately, but it's meant to be sort of like adding to the mystery a little bit, adding to the themes of what Mary was and what she is, and the transcripts will come out at about the same time that a certain big reveal will happen, although that big reveal has been very, very much like foreshadowed, a lot of clues here and there. A lot of people probably already understand what this big reveal is, or at least, like, they know what it's about. And, I mean, we have revealed that Mary is called a little big one, so we understand that, like, okay, there's something going on there that is very similar to big ones. The big reveal, all the Tagalog, everything is kind of like the same topic. And once you have the ability to translate the Tagalog, if you are not already Filipino, you will also understand the big reveal. It all comes together. You can gather all the information together. It comes to one thing. But in the meantime, you don't get to know. Even the summary, however, is already in text form. So when I say the summary is ang paglitaw ng gintong anito, you can just copy-paste that into Translate and see what it says. And it'll tell you what the Tagalog portion of the episode is about. Yay. But I'm not going to talk about it.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
We might talk about it a little bit more when the transcripts come out.
Yeah. I will talk about the other half of this episode, though, which is Dooley talks about Donner's past and warns about the dangerous recklessness that might still reside inside him. Well...
Oh, Donner.
Oh, Donner.
Oh, Donner.
Donner was always the responsible one. For so long, he was the guy, and now we're like, no, actually, he's crazy.
Yeah, the funny thing about Donner is that he's responsible because he's really good at pretending to be. And as far as being a detective goes, he's very good at his job. But that's kind of where the responsibility ends. We've already kind of seen his recklessness in the podcast with some of his, I guess, like, decisions, tactics. Like when he goes into the tomb with Richard Henry.
Yes.
The episode where the benefactor saves him again. The smart thing to do would be to wait for backup.
Yes.
He didn't wait for backup.
Yes.
The smart thing to do with Pocket is to talk to somebody who knows magic. So talking to Ashvin or Mari about having Pocket. He didn't talk to them about Pocket.
Yeah, not for a while.
Not for a while. It kind of had to be forced out of him.
Yep.
So we've already seen hints that Donner isn't actually as well put together as he pretends to be. So having Dooley say, no, this man is a very impulsive and reckless person, definitely changes the way Donner as a character is perceived. Just because up to this point, he's been the reliable one. He's been out of a group of adults, he's the adultier adult, right?
Yeah.
He's the reliable one that everybody centers around. even if Mari is the character that everybody's like, okay, she's competent, she knows what she's talking about, she knows what she's doing, Donner was the one I was like, we give the orders, and we get our orders and our structure from Donner. So to have somebody who is supposed to be the structure, the caregiver, the reliable one, suddenly turns out to be the most reckless and impulsive out of everybody in the group, definitely changes the dynamic for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if I hadn't been in on some of these scripts from the beginning, I definitely would be sitting here wondering what is going to happen next. Because at this point, with Dooley's warning, what is Donner thinking? What is he planning? What does he want to do at this point?
Yeah.
What does he know that he isn't telling anybody else?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Are you all
It's a
scared?
very fascinating flip of his character, for sure.
Yeah. Are you all scared of what'll happen to Donner?
If you have character theories, or if you have ideas on what you think is going to happen, I would be so interested in hearing. So, just, YouTube comments, use Tumblr messages, or just, make a Tumblr post. We'll find it, I'm sure. I want to hear your thoughts, genuinely. I want to know what you guys are thinking.
Yeah, same. Also, Alistair, wonderful, so happy. I was like, Alistair, can you voice another episode, please?
Oh,
and
Alistair.
I was like, hey, buddy, sure.
I love him a lot.
Thank you.
It still blows my mind
Alistair.
that you just have him on speed dial.
He's so lovely. He's a lovely, wonderful person. He is too kind to us. Okay, and the last episode we're going to talk about is Katapatan, or Fidelity, the second polyamory episode. Let me read the summary. Mary makes a deal with a ghost, and Donna and Murphy break a 15-year silence. Yeah! I continue my tradition of doing the polyamory episodes with a very concerning, second half or first half, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Being like, yeah, look at all the happiness. Ignore the dark thing that's happening over here on the side. Just look at all this happiness. Aha! Look at this romance.
Yeah, it's like the bus meme of, one person doom and gloom staring at the rock wall, and the other person is, super happy because they're staring outside the sunshine window.
Yeah. Yeah. Donna and Murphy break a 15-year silence. Yeah. They talk about their feelings after 15 years.
I can't imagine sitting on my feelings for 15 years.
Listen.
I couldn't do it.
Listen.
I don't have the wherewithal or patience for that.
That's so fair. That's so fair. I was gonna say, my favorite thing about this is literally, my mantra when it comes to them, which was given to me, or not given to me, but, I was reminded of it by the voice actor of Donner, which is Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Which we were both talking about Donner and, where I want his story to go and blah, blah, blah. And he was disappointed in me because he's like, what do you mean communication? What do you mean communicating?
Donner talks about his feelings.
Yeah, and Leon was like, no, I think Donner has toxic masculinity. And I'm like, yeah, but... and Leon was like, no, you don't understand. Toxic masculinity is worse than what you're writing. And I'm like, I know, I want them to be happy, though. So we had to have a bit of a wrestle. I agree with Leon so much, but I'm also like, but I want them to be happy.
But I want them to talk and be happy.
And he was like, no, toxic masculinity. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, listen, 15 years of not talking about their feelings is toxic masculinity. Does that help? And he's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure.
And for those of you who may have noticed that this episode is not complete because we still have actually a whole hour of content, we actually include the entire episode of the B-sides on our Patreon, patreon.com/HiNightPod. If you want to listen to the full episodes, you can actually listen as an At That Patron or above.
Mm-hmm.
At That Patron is the $10 patron or above. You can actually sign up and get all the full B-sides under the bonus content. And we will also, include a lot of interesting information, a lot of fun discussions in the full B-sides. But we still love to include most of the episode for all listeners, because we don't really like to paywall anything, but it is required so we can continue making this show and make it sustainable and make sure that it keeps getting made and we can pay people properly, etc., etc. So thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for the support. Please feel free to sign up for the Patreon. You also just get other perks even if you're signing up for a lower tier than Ate.
Yeah, there are a lot of really cool perks.
Yes, so much.
Definitely give it a check.
I do have to update the list, though, because I'm like, oh yeah, we keep adding new bonus stuff, and I keep forgetting to update the list. Because the secret is I'm the only one running the Patreon, so, yeah. My fault, but it's also my responsibility, and I'm the only one doing it, and I have to make a podcast and run it, so it's hard.
It's okay, it's fine. You've got a lot going on. It's okay.
No, actually, you know what the sound I'm making right now is? It's
Chikawa, right?
Yeah, it's Chikawa.
You make that sound better than I do.
I have to copy that little girl's voice. Yeah. Thank you so much for listening. Happy 2026 is when this episode comes out.
Yes, happy 2026, happy New Year, and
keep on keeping on.
Again, thanks
for listening to
listening.
High Nai. We still
hope
have
to
a
see
lot
you soon.
of High Nai. A lot coming this year.
Oh, it is not over yet, folks.
All right. Bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye-bye.